check it all about. Check it out. Check it all about. Check it, what's it all about? Hello, feedback. Says I'm live. Let's test the sound levels. Get some people in the door, hanging out here. We got a real upbeat jam from the summer of 1970 with the CSN and Y, especially the Y. And it's Tin Soldiers and Nixon's coming. We're finally on our own. This summer I hear the drumming. 4 dead in Ohio. 4 dead in Ohio. Tin Soldiers and Nixon's coming. We're finally on our own. This summer I hear the drumming. More dead in Ohio. What if you knew her and found her dead on the ground? How can you run when you know? What if you knew her and found her dead on the ground? How can we run when we're old? Okay, I wish I could play music for you guys. I always want to play music to lead in to the show. And that song, man, Ohio by Neil Young / Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Man, the actual, if you guys like country music, which sounds like an odd segue, but Alison Krauss, who plays with not Jimmy Page, Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin, and she has her own career, if you know who Alison Krauss is. That is not her real name. Alison Krauss is the name of the girl who was killed by the U.S. military, National Guard, as it were, at the Democratic National Convention that they're singing about in that song. And she's got a beautiful voice, but she uses that stage name to remind folks not to forget who Alison Krauss was, the young 18-year-old girl who was killed during that protest by the National Guard. Anyways, how are we doing? Are folks filtering in? You guys hear me okay and all that? Mick Mick says Alex is my favorite music AI. I'm working on it, okay? Ryan Massey, what's up? Yeah, she's got a great voice. So does Neil Young. Just kidding. His voice is terrible, but powerful. Let's see here. Coro, what's up? Yeah, so I took your advice and I threatened. We're going to be throwing some mind grenades. Actually, if you guys haven't seen the last 2 videos I made, I hate you. I seriously hate you. No, I'm sorry. That's a strong word. I shouldn't say hate. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that the video had 450 views after a day on a video that I spent 25 hours. I spent about 7 or 8 researching the material, which I was already familiar with. Then I put together, I went through probably 30 papers and pulled graphics that I thought would be useful, and then did editing on it for another 10 hours, and made the thumbnail and all that. And those videos, you guys leave good comments on the first one was how pigment works in fish and what the parasite that causes tetras to turn from silver to bright gold, how that works on a molecular and chemical or structural level, essentially, and how it works ecologically, along with why fish are colored the way they are, and the mind-bending fact that all fish only have red, black, yellow, and if you count their flesh, white as pigments. Any other color other than red, yellow, black, and white you see in a fish is an optical illusion. You are imagining it, or you are catching a reflection. You either are imagining it from an interference pattern going on, and or the same trick that TV uses when you see yellow and red together and it actually makes like a greenish brown on TV, but it depends on the ratio of pixels. But yeah, I was bummed that that video I spent a lot of time on, and then the other video that I spent almost as much time on when all was said and done was the video that just came out yesterday. Was it? Yeah, yesterday. That was on the what did I end up titling it? I ended up and I played with the title to see if that was it or the thumbnail, and I don't know if that's the issue for sure, but I go into the evolution of how fish see and like their brains, how they evolved to see, and this brand new research that talks about how our brains have this ancient organ that was shared before fish even had evolved, before fish even existed. It had an organ in what is now our visual cortex, and also in our reptilian brain, or the pineal gland, this ancient part of our brain that's responsible for like emotions and our endocrine system regulation somewhat. Pituitary gland does some of that too as well, but this is the one that like gives us the very like strong fight or flight, like, oh my god, my heart's racing, or the really intense dreaming, REM, REM state dreaming. Also, they think when we die that there may be something going on there that has to do with, seeing colors and bright lights and things like that. Very strong emotional, and also they know hallucinogenic properties, as well as they don't know why, but DMT happens to be in that part of the brain as well. And it's an organic molecule that occurs kind of all over the place in very, very, very trace amounts. But in fish still, that part of their brain in Danios, they can sense when you're standing over them. So a fish, a Danio, has essentially a third eye. It has a sixth sense. It actually has more than a sixth sense. It has lots of senses. And actually, we are said to have 28 senses, not 6 senses, or 5 or 4, or, the 5 typical ones. We have 28, like pressure, hot and cold. Those are all senses as well. But another one that we don't talk about is the fact that those cells in our brain that were at one point a similar structure in some pre-mammalian early little critter that crawled out of the water with 4 legs, probably like a salamander-y type thing that later turned into maybe like a mongoose or a squirrel or a weasel, something like that. The first little mammals, that is when our pineal gland was no longer showing, and it was in the deep part of our brain. But for fish, they have kept it for 500 million years so that it is right at the edge of the top of their brain, so that it can get light, so that it can detect light or no light. And this is how a lot of insects that don't have actual eyes, so things like worms that don't have actual eyes, this is how they sense light or dark. And these very same cells have to do with pigmentation in the body. And ironically, I mean, maybe fortuitously, they also have to do with how color is structurally viewed too. Absolutely fascinating stuff, in my opinion. But it didn't do well. It did the worst that a video has done in, I think, 2 years. Maybe I did a terrible job with the thumbnails and stuff. But from those of you who watched it, you seem to really enjoy it. So I want to say, you guys who are here, most of you watched it and commented. And I really, really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. But I also just don't want people to think that I'm not doing any work for y'all. Like, I am doing as much as I can for the channel. And sometimes it's just frustrating when it basically the algorithm or the YouTube buries it all. And people who may even want to see it, I know for a fact only 3,000 of the people, 3,000 people period, were given the option to even see the thumbnail on yesterday's video since then to today, which is appalling. I have 80,000 subscribers almost now, and it didn't inform most of them. It didn't even give them the chance to see the thumbnail. So that's pretty wild. And when you look at the stats on the video, people watched it all the way through. The people who saw the thumbnail clicked, and the people who watched all the way through. So it's extremely frustrating to me. I want to cry. I'm not kidding. Like, it made me want to cry. It really frustrated me to know that, like, if I'm making stuff and it's getting buried like that, like, what more can I do to get it out to people? Yet then I'll make a dumb video talking about, oh, Father Fish is wrong about this, and maybe like pretend like I hate him or something in the thumbnail. That'll do like 50,000. And I could do those all day, but I'm just so freaking pissed about all that. I just had to get it off my chest. You know what, Johnny? Regardless of what I do, whether it's thoughtful or whether it's just Jackson Pollock splatter on the wall, and you'll have to interpret it later, man, you are always there helping out the community, just giving out memberships, buddy. Thank you so very much, Johnny Best, for the gifted memberships. You need to stop doing that. It's time. Someone else needs to do that. And then Ryan does it, right? Then Ryan Massey gives another 5 memberships. So you guys, I really do appreciate it. Maybe some of those people will get alerts. You know, I don't know what more I can do. It pains my heart when I see my stuff and people will comment on a video. I haven't seen you for 6 months. I didn't know you were still doing YouTube. And they're subscribed with all alerts on, and they send me a screenshot of that being the case. And they have gotten no alerts for any videos. And it may mean that they weren't watching my videos for a patch there, and that's totally understandable. But at least I want to be a contender. I want to be able to at least get the content out there, if you know, and let people see it. But that stuff does so badly that it literally won't get seen on my channel, even if I have content that gets seen pretty well. For instance, literally the Father Fish, when he was on the channel talking, and my video where I correct the things that he said that were just blatantly, provably incorrect. Don't get me wrong. I think the Father Fish method's fine, the method itself, but a lot of people parrot things and have taken things a little too far off of assumptions they make about the way he does things. And the way he does things, you can keep live bears, you can keep small fish, you can even keep some medium fish. You need lots of plants, and you need enough light and or nutrients in the substrate, whether you're getting that from him or you're doing it yourself or whatever. It has to be just right. And a lot of people either say that it's a bad system or a good system, and either way, they weren't following, quote unquote, the system the way he did it. So yeah, that whole thing, I kind of want to say that so John Smith, behave yourself, sir. And yes, sure, I went to a liberal arts school. Sketty Nona, what's going on? It's so good to see you. Andrew Fishman, Brian Day, you're competing with Armageddon. Yeah, I suppose so, eh? Let's see here. Who else is in here? Freshwater Allure. Ollie the Pufferfish. Gosh, I love that name. So cute. Also, obviously, Ryan Massey's in here. He's giving out new subscriptions like they're going out of style, just like Johnny, the best Johnny. Brian Day, what's going on? Coro, always good to see you. He is my parrot that parrots the useful information, like how y'all can get discounts at places. So important. And yeah, I good to see you, buddy. I need to see you in person soon. You want to order some isopods? Yeah, you know, I'm thinking about culturing more of them. I'm kind of playing around with isopods in my own fish room and just seeing how it goes. Like, is this a viable thing, or is it some sort of no, not so much, like they're too niche, I can't grow them fast enough, that kind of thing. That's a little tricky. Let's see here. Who else is in here? I know someone's hiding. Houses of Pisces, good to see y'all. Fishing in New Hampshire. I heard something about the chitin being linked to longer finnage. Is that true? Yeah, well, it holds together any rigid structure in bony fish. The cartilage has some sort of relationship with the chitin as a, and I don't know if that's true in humans too. I don't know enough about anatomy, but like, for instance, your ears, where it's not bone, but it's stiff, like in fish, to have a fin that stays rigid, it not only needs the rays, but it needs like enough of a surface that is taut in between the rays that I know there is chitin involved in some of the tissues in fish that I've read about. Claire H, what's up? Channy UK, what's up? CC's Aqua Escapes, hello, and thank you for reminding folks to like. John Smith, Angel Fish, what is up? And then we've also got Brush It Off, Leo. I watch all your posted videos, man. I know you do. You are a freaking rock star, man. And you've been supporting the channel 52 months. That might be as long as it has been around, like financially, like that you could subscribe for money. So, man, thank you. And that shows how long you've been dragging around with me. And, we've had our spurts of growth and stuff. But the kind of nice thing about this channel that I enjoy is no matter how much I have grown since about 10,000, we seem to keep like a live stream / active chatting group of about the same size. Most people think that like I'm unreachable now or something if they're not the kind of person who just tries or who already knows me or knows other creators. They just don't even try to like send me an email or comment under videos, and they don't notice that I respond to so many comments. That's what I do with a couple hours of every day. So yeah. So what's going on? Robert Bennett, good to see you. Freshwater Allure, Dennis Engel. We got lots of great people in here. Mary Shelton, hello. Tire track eels. You want to talk about them? I love tire track eels. My neighbor has like 4 of them, and he's got a 75-gallon tank now, maybe 90. I can't remember what he sized up to. It wasn't 55. Then he got a bigger one because I was like, dude, you need to get a bigger tank. But he's got a moray eel that is like 1.5, and it is about yay big. It's like maybe a foot and super cute, still very small, like, not even as big around as, probably about as big around as like my thumb is. And but it's got that kind of moray eel face, right? And so it's like a true miniature moray eel. But it'll grow to maybe 3 or 4 feet, maybe. Kind of just depends. Probably 2.5 or 3 is more realistic in captivity for a freshwater. But it is a tiger moray, and it does come from Moonlight Aquatics. He has them for only $150 last I checked, and I've really thought about it because they're an incredibly intelligent fish. Like moray eels in the saltwater, same exact kind of fish. There's many kinds of morays, but divers have reported like them coming and undoing tangles, or like coming and sneaking food out of like their dive bags and stuff like that. Like all sorts of really interesting encounters have happened with moray eels. Plus, the big ones can take your thumb off in like a second. Fearless One, hello, Fishery. I'm loving your 2025 breeding for profit vids. Well, thank you, man. I am going to make the next installment probably this coming week. It was going to be this week, but then I got stuck on a crazy tangent that was totally pointless for income on the channel and or ranking of the channel. I just shot myself in the foot. Like I made one video that didn't do very good, and then I was like, let me go ahead and spend the rest of the week making part 2 essentially, or the inverse of that video. And I kept, going down the same path and just you know, doing what I felt was right for the channel and then editing. And it was a very, very image heavy video. And that takes a long time to drag the image in, decide how you want it to either move around or zoom in or zoom out, how you want it to transition into the frame and then out of the frame, whether you want words around it, you know, that kind of thing. It takes a while. But I'm proud of it. And I guess, you know, even if 400 or 500 people ever see it, I'm glad that it got made. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if it didn't. Seriously. Johnny Best, thank you, brother. He says you're only a member for 15 months. I know that's just because, like, at one point it got discontinued or your credit card or something got renewed. Johnny, buddy. And you did a super chat again, too. Brother, that you are so incredibly helpful. I'm not going to lie. It's very appreciated. And somebody asked, how's the leg? I don't want to go deep into it because I feel like I'm always talking about my leg. I'm always whining about something. So I don't want to whine too much. But the leg, hopefully it's doing okay. Right now, the puncture wound is 3 centimeters across, even. And it is 2.9 centimeters across 90 degrees from that. So that's like the cross section of it. And it's basically straight up round. And it goes 1 centimeter deep right now. But it used to go 1.35 centimeters deep. And actually, no, my mistake. It goes 0.7 centimeters right now. So we built up, we've all done it together, guys. So the tissue in the puncture wound is finally growing back at a very slow rate of maybe 2 or 3 millimeters a week. And we've still got 7, maybe 10, you know, somewhere in there, depending on how swollen it is, to go before it's back even with the rest of the skin on my ankle. But, you know, that's what happens when a piece of glass essentially cores out and twists into the wound. And then the wound, basically, they take it out, they heal it, they stitch it closed. You can't stitch a heel like that, it turns out. They should have shaved off that heel and then stitched it, which would have been painful, but that would have been the proper way to do it. Instead, they didn't do anything. They just left an exploratory trench in my leg and they stitched that up, and they worried all about that because that's what was so crazy looking. That's what was a wound that was open for a week because they didn't have surgeons on hand enough to close it all up. And it's been now over 6 months dealing with this. And that's probably on me because of my autoimmune issues and stuff. But the fact that it never cleared up. And I have an ultrasound, good point, freshwater allure. I do have an ultrasound. I have a venous and specifically an arterial pathway and functionality ultrasound on the 6th of February. But then I have wound care clinic once a week. It's supposed to be twice a week, but insurance didn't want to cover it. They were going to send me home with stuff. They didn't want to cover it. So yay there. Alex, you are a slow healer. You know, I'm actually a super, super fast healer. Usually, like, I've been cut to the bone. Actually, my cut from this summer looks incredibly good. You know, it's really wild. Like, here, let me show you guys the top of the cut. You would expect it to be a 1/2 inch to 1 inch wide trench, like, of scar tissue. That's what they told me to expect long term. And it is nothing of the sort. It is actually a very neat and tidy. Let me show you. My tattoos even came together on it. Right now I got some dry skin, but that is how wide that scar is, where the dry skin is. And it's just a little pink line, and that's only, wait, why won't it focus on this? This isn't, hold on, guys. Come on. There we go. So if you look here, that's the actual cut on the tattoo. The cut goes right through the tattoo. Why is it not? There we go. The cut goes right through the tattoo. That's the scar with the dry skin on it. And that goes all the way down my leg, 22 inches or whatever total of excavation they did on me. And it's just like a little tiny little nick. It looks like I scraped my leg slightly. And that was all the way to the bone and open for a week. So I heal pretty quickly. It's just the bottom of your heel, when you get an inch wide puncture wound all the way up to the bone, it's a hard thing to heal from because you walk on your foot all day. So I need to not be walking on my foot. That's really the thing. And feet take forever to heal. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so yeah, that cut looks so much better. If you go back to this summer on the community page, I warned folks, but I posted a couple different pictures of how gnarly that cut was. I don't think I shared. I think it was just on Facebook where I shared like the open, fresh thing because it was really crazy when you could see the bone and all the tendons. It was like I was like the Incredible Visible Man. Like you could actually see, like when I would flex my toes, you could see in my leg up by my knee. You would see these little tendon strings or muscles, or I don't know what's what honestly in there. I didn't want to gaze into the wound too long, but when they'd open it to clean it twice a day, they literally, you could see it. And if I wiggle my toes, you could see the strings going up and down, tight and then loose, tight and then loose. Absolutely wild. And I was like, is that my muscle? Is that my tendon? Is that my, oh my goodness, that's my bone. And that thing is a nerve. And that, like, you could see it all. It made 2 nurses walk out of the room. Yeah, Mary Shelton saw the pics. It was terrible. Yeah. Anyways, enough of that. Needless to say, I'm doing somewhat better. And hey, thank you so much, Dennis, buddy. I appreciate it. And again, I appreciate the super chat. I really do. Normally, I'll try to play cool and be like, yeah, I appreciate the super chat. That's pretty cool. But, I do okay on the channel. Lately, no, the channel's been doing really slowly. All YouTubers are doing pretty slowly compared to what they were doing from what I hear from other creators. But, like, I'm going to be frank and just, admit that, and the other thing is, Discord, I might as well just make the whole thing free. And if I can't figure it out soon, I'm going to, because they haven't sent me a penny since I set up the Discord. And I know y'all, that many of y'all have paid whatever $2.99 to get access to all the file sharing, which I'm paying $50 a month for to share on the back end in several different storage platforms, and then like $10 a month for Discord Nitro or whatever they call it. But yeah, you've been through a lot. Please keep off that foot. Yeah, thank you, buddy. Have I kept axolotls? No. Well, okay. Let me rewind. Yeah, rewind. I have kept axolotls as a child. I had an axolotl. I had like firebelly newts. I had a number of salamanders, and then I had an axolotl. And I don't think it went very well, if I recall. I was like 11 or 12. I wasn't very old. Needless to say, I was able to breed egg scattering fish before I was able to, take care of an axolotl, period. Let's see here. Were you able to get the scooter? Yeah, I did. I bought the leg scooter. It was like $150, but I got the leg scooter, which isn't that expensive. Like, really, insurance would have charged the medical company would have charged like $1,000 or $900 some dollars. When the scooter is available, literally the exact same scooter is available on eBay or Temu or at Amazon or wherever. It's available if you go to a non-medical source for $150 brand new. So everybody's just marking everything up in the medical industry and world. But we bought it just out of pocket and got it. It wasn't a big deal. They probably would have charged me that much for the co-payment. And I'm not kidding. That's literally probably about right. Thank you, Paulo. Thank you so much, buddy. Paulo Marcondes Machado. Thank you, buddy, for 5 gifted memberships. Y'all, you're so lucky to be in the presence of these incredible people that we call members here in the community. We've got, we got people like Dennis, Johnny, Paulo. We've got also, of course, Johnny Best, but I said Johnny, but Johnny. And then we've also got, folks like Leo, folks like Ryan Massey, y'all, tonight giving away those memberships just to you guys to be kind so that you guys can get access to the extra content that I lock away because I am a greedy money hoarding man. No, hopefully it just pays to keep the lights on around here so that I can stay focused on studying what I love and making videos that nobody watches other than you amazing people that are here to hang out on a Friday night to talk about fish or whatever I go rant about. And I feel bad that I'm still ranting. So let's end this rant. Post-cut clarity. I like that name. Hello, welcome. Gotcha. Thanks for telling us. Well, I'd love to see your take on an axolotl keeping if you ever did it again. I've been asked to keep crabs and axolotls and snails a lot, like frequently. And I've thought about that. And I just don't know. Like, one, I'm not really into it, and there's nothing against it. It's just I don't want to have to, like, axolotls can have some health issues. They become pretty inbred, and they also are kind of mysterious. Like when they're sick, you put them in the refrigerator. Like it's just some weirdness that I don't know. That's not how we treat fish, and it's I can't wrap my head around it exactly yet. But I'm sure there will be some weekend or some day that I just go on an obsessive torrent searching for everything there is to know about them, and I will probably set up a tank. But I do actually want to set up some terrarium, vivarium type tanks where, it's half water and then half wet, humid ecosystem with plants and maybe some rocks and things. HB says, but isn't it realistic to expect stuff from Temu to be crap? Oh, totally. Yeah. This scooter will not hold together super long. But it's fine. It'll work for a couple months, hopefully. I don't use it like all day, every day. I just put a chair with a pillow or a stool with the pillow next to me when I'm standing, working, editing, like at the counter or in the living room or whatnot, or I lay down. Freshwater Allure says, seriously, Alex, we'll pay you however works. Like you're part of the hobby. You're part of my hobby budget. I learn everything. Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. No, just being here, doing what you do. Literally, if you are a member, it would work, and it does work. When people pay the $1.99, we had at a peak like 600 people paying the $1.99, and I was getting about $1.20 from that. So it was a guaranteed like $700 a month, and I don't live super expensively. So between that and the videos, I was making around $2,500. Now I'm not making quite that much, but we're making it work. I probably am just going to have to pick up a bit of a side job sometime here, unless the channel kind of catches momentum again, and maybe it will. It might need to be the fact of the matter might need to be that you guys who see every video, who are here day in, day out, you've been here for years, you know what I'm really about. I may need to make some fluffy videos like, oh, I bought a lobster and brought it home, and this is what happened, or come up with some kind of BS like that. I don't even know if I can bring myself to do that. But I mean, those are the kind of pieces that would definitely help the channel. The guy who's doing a killer job of that kind of stuff, but not in a bad way, like in a good way, like he tells a story everybody's interested in it. It's nice and digestible, but it's not surface level. Is Tanks for Nothing. That guy just put up a new video the other day. He puts out like a video every 2 or 3 months, and I think he's got 5 videos total. But he's got, I think, 300,000 or 400,000 subscribers. Absolutely phenomenal channel. But it's just so impressive that folks found him. I mean, I made so many videos before I even had like 2 people find me. So I mean, good for him though. Like I don't know how that happens exactly, but good. I mean, that's great when good content gets found. And I do believe that we will we'll see more of that. Yeah, Johnny Best said, Alex, I see you put the cacto lily away. Yeah, so the cacto lily 5-in-1, it was just too big. At the end of the day, I decided that tank that it was on, I didn't care what the stats were. If I do a Blackwater tank again, that's when I'll hook it up again. Or if I did a brackish tank, I would definitely hook it up. But I don't care on my average Amazon tank to know what the temp is. I don't have thermometers in any of my tanks, by the way. I probably should, but I don't. I don't have thermometers in any of my tanks. I use a laser thermometer to just check the side temperature of the tanks for the most part. But yeah, it's something like yeah, Java Streamscape for the vampire crabs. I could do that. I mean, there's like a Borneo crab that I like. You know, I really like those the pygmy dwarf crabs, or the pygmy ghost dwarf crabs. They're I think they're Malaysian. But I bought 3 of them at Moonlight Aquatics. I'll show you guys what they look like. They're really cool looking. I mean, they're cute. And unfortunately, they dug holes immediately. Like I watched them dig into the substrate, and then I just never saw them again, unfortunately. I don't know how they're doing. I don't know if they're alive. I literally have not seen them since they did that, which is wild. So here we got Moonlight Aquatics. Again, they've got the blueberry snails. They've got the orange blueberry snail variety also from Borneo rather than Papua New Guinea. Here's the original blueberry snail. These ones are more brown now. They've been coming in more brown because they've been kept in Chinese tanks for a while. But when they came straight from nature, they were more of like a purpley brown. And I think it must be something about their diet and like the water chemistry and everything that kind of works to make them look just so. Also, guys, let's see here. Dennis says, I got 5 of the gold line panda loaches and bought my friend 5 also. We are always calling each other and comparing antics. Everything you said is so true. Oh, good. Yeah, you know, those panda loaches are one of the most expensive little fish in the hobby. You know, they're going to be, at most places, they're going to be $30 a pop. It's pretty crazy that that Moonlight has them right there for $13.99 for the original panda loaches that are still babies, which is a killer deal, and $19.99 for the brand new golden panda loaches, which do not exist in the United States anywhere other than maybe I think one other person said they saw them one other place. But he knew for a fact, like the one guy who discovered these new ones and was writing the paper was also the guy who brought them to his wholesaler in China, mainland China. And somebody drew Martorelli, hello. You said Temu products aren't made by paid employees either. Yeah, yeah, there's the whole like Uyghur, are they slaves, political prisoner thing also going on. And all of that nonsense. So when I was mentioning Temu, my point was cheap places, Amazon.com, Temu, whatever, IKEA. Some are worse than others. Alibaba. yeah, is it going to be worse if you buy it straight from a massive factory in China? Probably. But you're also, when you buy it from Amazon or Walmart or Walgreens or Costco or, any big company, you got problems in the production line. So, I'm not going to dive into that right now, but yeah, there are definite problems with it. I would agree. Andrew Fishman says Cassandra brackish are easy and good fun. Some lovely and interesting fish are the celebes or celebs, rainbow and bumblebee gobies. Yeah, definitely. Also, most rainbow fish like threadfin rainbow fish and a lot of like the praycocks, a lot of them can be trained for that. A lot of the half beaks can live in between, and as he said, a lot of gobies, even like Stiphodon gobies, have that ability at least part of their life to go through saltwater and freshwater. Let's see here. Team Turtle. Pond puppies. Hello. Oh, rhino horn gobies. Yes, those are very cool. Let me put your comment on the screen. Yeah, the Redigobius balteatus. Yeah, I didn't know its Latin name, but I know what you're talking about. That is a very cool fish. For sure. I mean, like mud skippers are cool. There's a lot of really neat brackish fish, and I'll cover that sometime. I just feel like I need to cover the basic, like how are you how to take care of those creatures before I do a video on it. Do you have any frogs in your tanks? I don't. I used to have the diving frogs, the dwarf African frogs. Not even that long ago, I had some of them. But I just, frogs are kind of little pigs. They're kind of mean for their size. They'll eat anything that fits in their mouth. They'll eat eggs. And they produce a good amount of waste because they just like to eat all day if they're in captivity. But they are super cute, and I totally get the allure. It's just I've seen them many times, and if I get frogs again, really what I'd love to have is a poison dart frog, poison arrow frog, a vivarium. I've never kept poison arrow frogs, and I've always wanted to as a kid and everything. So Moonlight Aquatics, I'm debating what to stock the next tank in my fish room with. Like as we're going through and re-aquascaping, I think setting up the big 65 is going to be high priority on the list, just because it has never been set up, so it'll be an easy setup in the sense that I don't have to tear down an old tank, clean it out, scrub, do all that stuff that's hard for me to physically do. But I think I can set it up in the fish room and also have a big impact with it. Like it'll be something interesting to film, something that can fit a lot of fish in it. But I would like to have some species that breeds in it, whether that's like an angelfish or an earth eater or some sort of pleco, something. I would like for it to be able to have babies in there. Also, I've decided, as much as part of me wants to make it all black water and like wood and just have like beautiful fish in a very kind of dimly lit tank, the other part of my brain is like, Alex, this is your biggest tank yet. Why wouldn't you do plants? You love plants. Do plants, you dumb dumb. And so I'm a little conflicted on that. But either way, this is one big contender I'm thinking of. Like, if I got 5 of these, and I mean, that would be expensive, I would get a discount from Chang. You guys can get this fish that's normally $400 to $500 for $174. Then you get my discount, which is Fishery 10, all caps, Fishery 10, Fishery 10. and you would get another 10% off. So you'd get another 20 bucks off basically. So basically this would be $150 fish for y'all, or me, if we're looking at it. Yet the babies fetch easily $200 to $300 at our local stores in Seattle. Now, Seattle's kind of a pricier market, and I get that, and I know they don't all go that way, but those super whites are really incredible. They really are. And thank you, Coro, for throwing up the link for it. I want to look at a couple other ideas. If you guys have more thoughts of what I should be raising in those tanks, like, go ahead and tell me. Because I'm kind of just looking through, and in the meantime, for my birthday, I basically walked away with around $200 or $300 extra. That, yeah, it should go to my freaking medical bills, but is it going to? No, I'm gonna like treat myself a little, and I'll make payments on the medical bills. I'm just over it. I need some like decompression time. I have been very thrifty. I don't buy new stuff hardly ever, other than fish stuff, and I'm going to treat myself. But I do think that like breeding shrimp of some kind is something I'd like to do again. It's something I haven't really been doing other than my Sulawesi shrimp. And while I do have the other shrimp tank, like the jade greens, and I had the yellow ones that were doing so well, and we made over $1,500 in profit in 1 year from a 2.5 gallon tank. Like, watch the video on how I was able to do that if you're curious. I mean, it's pretty wild that those shrimp are $3.99 a pop here. Like, they are so affordable. They are so freaking affordable at Moonlight Aquatics. He even has like, there's all the neocaradinas, but he had orange-eyed blue body neocaradinas that I've never seen. I've only seen that in caradina, not neocaradina. And he had some of those. He's got the little Mexican CP. He just has the orange ones right now. He used to carry the blue ones, but most of them don't stay true, so he kind of stopped carrying them. The other thing I was thinking about breeding in a tank was going to be these, which is the Pygmy Corydorus albino. They are so tiny, though. They almost look sickly. If you look at them, they look like they're sickly. Like, that's the only one that looks semi-healthy, is this turned fella here. This one that's missing an eye looks downright dead because of the albino eye effect. Kind of wild. Kind of wild. But that would be one. I have bred Corydorus, Habrosus, Pygmy Corys, stuff like that several times, and I always have a good time breeding them. But it's best to breed them with like a piece of slate, like a chalkboard that's real slate, and to put that like half submerged into a pile of sand at a tilt, and then literally do a cold water change and turn like the power heads on, and the fish just get so excited when they're in a big group. I have lots of videos on how I've spawned Corys, but it's been a while since I've spawned Corys, and I want to show you guys, if I were doing something with Moonlight Aquatics, they have a couple other things that we could spawn that would be pretty darn profitable. For the fact that like these are going for $4.99, I see them going for $9.99 at Aquarium Co-op. So just because I see them super cheap at Moonlight Online, or look at this. This is insane. The orange Venezuelan Corys, which have a beautiful like bluish hint to the body. He's got hyphen variety too, and they've got that metallic like gunmetal gray or blue, but they've also got that beautiful orange rusty color. They look absolutely cool, and they're only $8.99 a pop. You can easily get yourself like a dozen at that price, and be doing pretty well. And if you go into his store, if you're local to the Pacific Northwest, use the code anyways. Use Fishery10. Just say it out loud. Just say, I've got the code from Alex. and he'll give it to you. A lot of people went in there and were like, I was afraid to use the code because I thought it was just for online orders. And no, it's not. He actually loses money more on online orders because he loses livestock every now and then on online orders, or the post office does rather. These crabs, I don't know if they reproduce in captivity very well, but I really think they're cute. These little ghost dwarf crabs from Malaysia. Look, they have the tiniest little pinchers ever, but they have these little puffy legs that look like, I don't know, little cream puff, like cartoon legs. They're super cute. So I want to see if those breed in captivity. Nothing is really known about them that I can find that seems like predictable. Although, yet again, he's also got these guys. I need to get a tank of these guys going again. When that tank crashed, I was so sad. But, you know, whether it's the original blueberries or these ones, I was selling those all day long for 15 bucks. And other people online were selling them for $40 a pop all day long for the first 6 months. And even panda loaches, people, you could buy these for $13.99. If you bought like 50 and you bought, you know, the the shipping price and everything included, you could probably, you know, they'd probably end up, it'd be like $1 each then if you bought 50 of them for shipping. And then, because shipping's probably 50 or 60 bucks anywhere you go these days. But you could probably flip those for 20 bucks in most towns, most cities, all day long, let alone the brand new ones that are a new species. But look at these. These are the ones I'm really thinking I'll breed, which are the Corydoras Aeneas Gold Laser. There's a red laser too that's out. But for $9.99, are you kidding me? I could be breeding gold lasers, and then I get a discount on that of 10%. So they're really $9 a pop, and I don't have to pay for shipping. So I'm really thinking about that, doing that in a way of making a little bit of money. You know, also plants are another thing that I will probably be trying to raise a little bit more money around here with. But zebra plecos with the discount, it's like 115 bucks. That's a pretty killer deal for L46 zebra plecos. His always looks so nice, so cute. Here's a picture of his recent group. I have so many pictures of them. They hide all day, unfortunately. But the 1.5 inch that he's talking about here for that price, they're not. They're not. They're all at least 2 inches by now, and they are. I mean, yeah, it's just kind of funny because he lists them as that, and then he has the next size up as 1/2 inch, and they definitely grow to that size within about a month or two of being there. Here's another different the Corridor of Venezuela. Here's just the normal fin ones. He didn't even delineate in the price at all. There's just $8.99 also. Goldfish is something I've wanted to breed just because I never have. And as much as I love them and would love an entire tank of the Stiphodon anies or the Stiphodon orinatus or any of the cool Stiphodon, like these ones here, the gold neons, these are absolutely stunning when they color up. They don't breed in captivity. You know, they need an ocean, and that has kept me away. But this is another fish that I was thinking in the big tank. I could get a pair of male and female for 60 bucks from him and breed them. And these are a real showstopper when they're fully colored up. The Ivancara bimaculata says his pairs are sold out right now. Let's see. Well, he's got a female for sale. He's got a male for sale. I'm going to put my thinking cap on and assume that if I email him, he has a male and a female, if that's the case. Gosh, look at some of these Stiphodons. They're just so incredibly beautiful. And they're not even colored up for spawning, and they just look that cool. You know, the thing is that once I've done a species spotlight on one of them, it's basically the same for all of them. He does have something new there, which is interesting, and I even thought for a moment about doing a tank based on Lake Paso in Sulawesi, on the island of Sulawesi, and that is these Sulawesi ram's horn snails, and they're called Celebensis, um, and they're kind of like terrifying looking. Like if you watch Star Wars, they kind of look like a bantha, like with their big curly horn, and then like I don't know. That might be way too deep of a dive for y'all, but if you know bio folks, you're a little late, but we're still going for a little longer. We still got a few more minutes. Uh you could never afford those Corys. Mary, you could afford those Corys in that they're $6.99 or $9.99. I mean, they're crazy cheap at this place. But literally, I go to Aquarium Co-op or I go to the other place, Aquarium Zen by my house. The same fish are 20, 30 bucks for the same Corydoras. And I can tell you they're the same quality. But these are hard water snails. They're like the rabbit snails, but just a different shell and a different body. He sells also, even though he's out right now, but he sells high quality blue bolts for $7.99, just to kind of show you like how wild that whole thing is, that what he carries. This thing was evil. He will never carry these again, I don't think. And I will never have one as a pet again. Hated the panther crab. Worst pet ever. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, tangerine tiger shrimp, $4.99. Plus you get the 10% off. Plus when you buy 10, you get one free. Bumblebee. Oh, we finally sold out of the corridor or of the autocinkless, the Bumblebee autocinkless. These guys are rad. I have a few of them. Super cute. They blend in so well though. It's hard to find them once you let them go. True freshwater gobies, like we were talking about earlier. These can do the brackish thing too. Well, this species can, but these ones are freshwater, so they probably wouldn't do a very good job of it. Take a while and it wouldn't be worth it. This Imperial Lapis Tetra. He told me he's going to keep ordering these because of what an incredible fish I showed him they were. Like when we saw these, I was very meh about them. I got them home and literally they started turning these crazy red and yellow colors. Then they started turning like blue and green. Then they started turning every freaking color of the rainbow. They are the incredible, really beautiful fish for sure. He also has a black pearly eel that's pretty cool. And he also has a golden fire eel right now that I think is 400, which is cheaper than the 750. I think they wanted a aquarium co-op. Oh, so here are the blue dwarf crayfish. See, he hasn't been selling them. He just gave them away with purchase because the blue doesn't hold out very well. It's only when they're really small, and only a very small fraction stay a true bright blue color when they get older, unfortunately. This is another fish I'd like to breed, possibly. I mean, just look at how startling and pretty these are. The Melis, Pseudomagil Melis. And they go, I mean, for 50 bucks a pair in the hobby. The thing is, then I have to deal with shipping and dealing with all that, and I hate all that. So maybe I won't. I don't know. I'm torn on whether that's a good idea or a terrible idea. You know, really, one of the best ideas for breeding for profit is simply just breeding guppies or something like that, you know, that is a live bear that has lots of babies, makes it easy, you know. And you know, a lot of people don't go for that. He also has these fire ant tetras. If you are into breeding these, they've been very easy to breed in the hobby. These are a new species, but I mean, look how good they look. Oof. Ooh-wee. And again, the freshwater moray eels, these tiger morays that he's got a couple of these in his shop at the moment. You can see, even though it says one, there's one here, there's one here, there's one here, there's one here. I think he's got 4 or 5 still. I mean, as of last Thursday or something. But I mean, absolutely an awesome fish to watch. The way it comes out and hunts and moves, and just, I mean, super interesting. Again, he's got stir-by. Oh, he sold out of stir-bys. Well, he does have Gardner eye killies. He was supposed to get more killifish, and he does have some rice fish in right now. And like, these are the fish that clean your feet, the Gararufa. Betta imbolus he had for a while, and I bought them, and now I'm breeding them. You know, bettas are a nice one. Oh man, these are what I really want. Look at this. He sold out of these immediately, but he had 5, and he sold them for $175 each for this CW111. And that is the Vulcan Cory. When these are fully grown, their dorsal fin gets like almost from this middle fish almost to the top or to the bottom of that stick above it. I mean, it looks like a crazy volcano fin. It's wild. Betta Hendra he still has, and these are a nice, fairly chill betta. You can keep them in a big group. You can spawn them in a group if you've got plants. They're a great one that I totally approve of. The Sultan Pleco, that's another one that I would like to try spawning again. And they're only $54 yet. I mean, they're a really cool one in that they have 3 different color tones as they mature. Also, this Cory is another one I'm thinking about. If you guys watch next week's video that I'm already editing, this is going to be on the list for Corys. The Corydoras cruziensis. They kind of look like the smudge spot Cory, but they have like this cool wave that you don't see in fish a whole lot, where it goes above and below the what do you call that? Their middle line. Their why can't I think of the name of this thing? Lateral line. They have a pattern of dots that's like an S pattern or like a wave pattern that crosses that line, which is very, very unusual. And I think that the Corys right at that like $20 to $40 price range, if you can get a quote unquote good deal on them, is a great price point to be making them, because then you could sell them for say $20 and just sell them all day long, but be making good money. And Corys you can breed a good number of. Same with these honeycomb catfish. These ones have been bred in captivity now for at least 5 or 6 years. I've seen several people succeed breeding them. Super cool. So I highly suggest that. Again, you know, there's some cool stuff. What was I gonna say with the the black autosynclus are another one that you don't usually see, but that's something I'd like to stock in my tank, is like these guys, just to be different, just to be a little different. Because I could use a normal one, but I want to just switch it up a little. Same with like, you know, I just don't know what I want as my main schooling fish or anything. But there's the Betta chinoides as another top loving fish. There's this 174 leopard pleco, only $49. They're pretty cool. So are these. When he has these, he might still have those in stock. You know, sometimes it doesn't match up online with what is the reality in the store. But again, these Oppie bettas, he had a bunch of these, and they're another really cool wild betta that you can breed. And he does have these still, the Blue Flame Paradise Gouramis. These guys are top notch, really beautiful. You don't see those a lot in the hobby, and I think they're just really a beautiful, beautiful fish. Anyways, I'm just kind of blowing through stuff like that to see, you know, what I might want to do. Like I said, I kind of want to earn a little bit of money on the side, and I'm sure some of y'all might even be interested in some of the plants and or fish if I end up doing that. But that way, you know, I like to know that I'm earning my keep and not begging for money. Kitty, no, no, no. The cat is definitely trying to get. You guys can't see it, but she's trying. It's got a blur effect on. She's trying to get on top of the freaking aquarium, and she uses me. She'll have me go over to the aquarium and check on how things are doing, and I'm feeding the fish, and she'll jump up, grab my hood, pull herself up, and then that's her trick. Is then she jumps from there, and yeah, post cut clarity. No. Our Paradise Gourami same as Paradise Fish? No. Yeah, so the Paradise Gourami is not really, I mean, it is a different thing completely. The Paradise Fish sometimes gets called the same as the Kissing Fish. Yeah, they're a lot more violent and bite a lot more. Hey, come here. Your fans want to see you. Come here. Well, the cat just came by. Here we go. So, guys, I'm going to have to get going pretty soon because I have a loving cat that needs me. And I also need to edit the rest of the video for tomorrow that I've been working on. And that video is all about, should I tell the people? Should I tell them? Should I tell them? Are you excited? Are you excited? Wow. The cat totally just jumped, flipped over the computer. I think I'm still here. I think I'm still alive. The cat totally just jumped and flipped over the computer, and now she's clawing at my legs, still trying to get back up, but she's just in a wild mood. Oh, she's purring loud. She's a crazy kitty. She's a crazy kitty. And they said that she was a crazy kitty. Trouble is big and getting bigger. But it wasn't a crime she'd ever done. Put in a prison cell, but one time she could have been the cat champion of the world. Is that true? Are you the story of Hurricane? This is the story of Hurricane, the kitty that breaks everything. Where is the Bengal? My Bengal died, unfortunately, a couple years ago. But love the Bengal. He was a great Bengal. Mr. Bo Bangles. But yeah, he passed on at like 11 or 12 years old from kidney failure. Which is something that happens with that breed, unfortunately. All right, guys. Yeah, I got to stay off the leg. I got to keep it up, rack it up, pack it in. Let me begin. Don't want to stand on my foot. That's a sin. Alex says, Alex, my cat jumps on all the tanks all the time. One broken, 29 lids, one drinks out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, one drinks out of the tanks. That's my cat wants to drink out of every tank too. She's always trying to drink out of the tank. And hey, Malachi, is that Brian? Is that you? Or is that a coincidence that you're using a name that I've only ever seen one other person who's a friend in real life use? Anyways, if that's you, Brian, with the Alex from Clockwork Orange picture, hello, and I miss you. If it's not, hello and welcome, and very odd coincidence. Oh, it is Brian. Okay, all right, good to see you, buddy. But yeah, this is the new kitty. Oh, kitty, come back, Brian. I'll show you the kitty one more time. Honey, Brian's watching my channel. Mitch's Brian. Look at her. Say hi to Brian. Oh, don't do what Elon did the other night. Just say hi. Just say hi. Just say hi. She's just on a crazy radical rampage tonight. She's just gonna do whatever she does. You know. But guys, I love you so much. Wait, there's another Brian? Oh yeah, there's more Brians than you know in this reality. I haven't seen Mitch's fish tank. I need to go check that out and inspect it. That's bad. My bad. Yeah, the kitty's over here now. So see, the cat's gonna need some cat attention, and I gotta go deal with that shoulder cat. Shoulder cat. Nobody does what a shoulder cat does. It's like a spider pig. All right, you guys. Have a wonderful evening. I will be back. Well, I don't know when I'll be back for sure. Hopefully Tuesday, maybe sooner. I mean, I feel like lately I've had to stall so much because of health issues that I'm gonna just stream when I can, honestly. But I love you guys. Sorry we're a little late tonight. I so appreciate all of that, all the love, all your support, and it's so great to see you all. You guys, thank you for the super chats, for all the gifted memberships, and just the jokes, the questions, the curiosity, watching the video, hanging out, all of that. You guys rock. Listening to me whine. Do you have the time to listen to me whine? It's Friday, I'm in love with this kitty cat indeed, I guess. Saturday's fine. But yeah, so we're gonna get out of here, guys, before she eats my headphones. Have a good night, and we'll try this one more time. Goodbye. Yeah, that's not her saluting. She's just saying goodbye. Goodbye. Okay. We'll go play. All right, guys, have a good one. Take care. And I will send my love to Laura. The cat is literally jumping over the seat I was sitting in. I don't know if you see her tail, if the resolution is loading. But I got to go. I've been saying that too long. But now I got to go. Bye. What are you doing, girlie? All right, guys. Oh, holy smokes. We got a $10 super chat right at the end. But I caught you. You sneaky bugger. GB, thank you, buddy. I really do appreciate it. That's going to go towards veal for the cat. No, I wouldn't feed my cat veal or that whole situation would be sad. But we get one more appearance of the cat since she keeps running by. What are you doing? Why are you running by but you don't want to be held? What's going on? Did you go poop and then you got zoomies? I think she went poop and she's got the zoomies, guys. She gets that at night. She gets the zoomies and her eyes get dilated and she goes and runs all over the house like crazy. All right, you guys, take care, and I will see you L8R later. Bye. Tin soldiers and Nixons come.